A lot of beginner leather crafters tend to use the same free patterns you see floating around online. And while that's a great way to learn the basics, it also means a lot of us end up making projects that all kind of look the same. So today, I'm going to walk you through 5 easy ways to add character to your leather projects so that your work stands out from the sea of cookie cutter wallets. These are all things that I've learned over the last couple of years that made a big difference in how my work looks and how people respond to it. So let's get into it. The first one I want to talk about is dyeing. Dyeing your leather yourself instantly adds more personality. Even if you're using the same pattern as someone else, a unique dye job sets your project apart. You don't have to get complicated right away. Just using hand-dyed leather over pre-dyed already gives you a more natural, varied look. But if you want to take it up a notch, start mixing colors. For example, blending black and brown can create a deep, earthy tone that changes depending on the lighting. Or layering colors, like starting with a base of light tan and adding darker tones around the edges. Gives you that worn, vintage look right out of the gate. Application tools matter too. A wool dauber gives you a pretty even coat, good for full coverage. A sponge can create lines and textures that almost look like brush strokes, great for giving the leather visual texture, especially on rustic pieces. You can also try dry brushing or even flicking dye on for more of an artistic or chaotic look if that fits your style. If you're using veg tan, play around with how water affects the dye. Wetting the leather beforehand lets the dye bleed more and softens the edges between colors. That alone can give your piece a hand-painted organic look. Moving on to number 2, and this is going to be about edge finishing and burnishing. Edges might seem like a small detail, but they have a big impact. Think about it. The edges are what people run their fingers over, and they have a big visual cue about how finished a piece is. You can dye the edges to match or contrast. For example, black leather with red edges has a high-end modern vibe. Tan leather with natural burnished edges feels more handmade and classic. Or you can use edge paint if you want something ultra clean and solid. It's great for more refined pieces like bags or belts. Burnishing is where you can really start to play with texture. A glossy burnish using toconol or gum trag and a slicker gives you that polished high-end look. But if you want something a little more aged or rustic, you can do a light burnish with just beeswax and canvas. If you don't want that shine, it won't shine as much, but it has a soft, natural texture that fits certain styles better. You can even mix techniques. Paint the edge and then lightly burnish to blend it into the leather. Just remember, don't rush this step. A clean edge takes time but completely elevates the project. Moving on to number 3, and this is going to be stamping and laser engraving. Personalization is one of the easiest ways to add character, and this is where stamping or lasering comes in. Stamping with a mallet gives you traditional hands-on feel. You can add initials, floral patterns, geometric designs, whatever fits your style. If you're into Western style tooling or just want to make something that looks handcrafted, stamping is the way to go. On the other hand, laser engraving is great for detailed logos, small text, or repeating patterns. For example, I laser my maker's mark into my wallets because it's consistent and clean, even at small sizes. You can also do complex graphics that would be nearly impossible to stamp by hand. If you're deciding between the two, ask yourself, do you want it to look handmade and traditional? Go with stamping. If you want it to look modern, sharp, and precise, go with laser. You can also mix them. I've seen makers stamp the front and laser the inside, or vice versa. It's all about what fits the piece. Next up, number 4, we're going to be talking about thread color and type. Thread might seem like a utility choice, but it's a major design element. Start with the thread type. Ritza Tiger thread is one of the most popular. It's flat, waxed, and lays clean along the stitch line. It's perfect for minimal, modern designs. If you want more of a rustic or handcrafted look, go with a braided polyester or a linen thread. It's rounder, more pronounced, and gives you a chunkier stitch that really stands out. Now let's talk about the color. Contrasting thread, like white on black or red on brown, draws attention to your stitch lines and makes everything feel more graphic. Matching thread is more subtle and is great if you want the leather to be the focus. Or you can use a complementary color, something that doesn't match but pairs well. Think navy thread on tan leather or olive green on black. The cool part is you can even switch colors mid-project. Do one color for the outer stitching and another for the accents. It's a small touch that can make your piece feel more thoughtful and intentional. Before I get to the last tip, If you want to support what I do, check out the handmade leather goods that I make over at puredleather.com. Every sale helps me keep making content just like this, and if you're into quality leather work, I think you'll like what I've got up there. All right, let's get into the last one, and honestly, one of the most important ways to add character to your leather projects, and that's going to be finishes. Finishing is the last step in your build, but it's the first thing people notice when they pick up your piece. The finish you choose literally affects how the leather looks, feels, and ages over time. Let's break it down by style. A matte or natural finish gives your project a soft, aged look. It feels like raw leather, and it shows marks and patina over time. Good products for this are Aussie Leather Conditioner, Smith's Leather Balm, or even just Neat's Foot Oil for a very natural look. This kind of finish is perfect for rustic or vintage styled pieces. Next is semi-gloss or eggshell finish. This is my personal favorite. It has a slight shine, still looks natural, but adds just enough polish to make the piece feel complete. You can get this with a diluted Resin mix, a 50-50 mix with water, or Fiebing's Caranuba cream. It's a great all-around option, not too flashy, but still refined. Last finish is a high gloss finish. If you want a super shiny, reflective look, you can go all in with full strength acrylic Resin or Angelis's high gloss finisher or Fiebing's leather sheen. Just be careful because high gloss can look plasticky if overdone or applied too thick, especially on soft or textured leathers. As a bonus tip, apply multiple thin coats instead of just one heavy one. That'll help you avoid cracking or tackiness later on. Also, think about the feel. Some finishes soften the leather while others seal it and make it a bit stiffer, so consider how the item will be used. If it's a wallet, you probably want something flexible. If it's a belt or sheath, you might want it more sealed and firm. So there you go. There's 5 solid, easy ways to add personality and uniqueness to your leather projects. These are techniques that I use all the time, and even just trying 1 or 2 can completely change how your work is perceived. If this video helped, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe for more leatherworking tips, and drop a comment below and let me know what's your favorite way to add character, or better yet, share a trick I didn't cover. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.